and welcome. This is Ashley's Heart Song, and this is the place where we get out of the stress and back into our body, our life, and our business. When we tap into the song of our heart, that is when we master the mind and the stress that can steal our life. Welcome to today's show. I am Ashley, your host, and I'm thrilled to be talking about the topic I'm talking about today. This topic is one that is close to my heart because I used to suffer from this all the time. Going through the holiday season, I was terrified of what January 1 weight was going to be. I did not want the scale and my body to feel like it had gained 10 pounds. And that was always the belief when I was growing up, was that going through the holidays, you're going to gain 5 to 10 pounds. That's just how it is. And beliefs like that create patterns, and those patterns can stay with us. And it's not fun when they do, especially one like a 10-pound pattern. That is not fun. Also the pattern of overindulging, or the belief that you're going to overindulge, the belief of overeating, any of that, those patterns that come in during this holiday season taint the holiday season. I mean, the holidays are all supposed to be about joy, love, hope, peace. And in the back of your mind, you got this little thing sitting on your shoulder, just whispering in your ear, you're going to get overweight, you're going to overeat, you're going to get fat, and all of that. And it tends to drive us crazy. And the mantra that I hear over and over and over is, I'm just going to get through the holidays and then I'll go on a diet. I have client after client after client say words like that to me. And it's like, no, don't just get through the holidays. It's not about survival. It's about thriving through the holidays. It's about feeling good in your own skin. It's about having confidence that you are going to eat and eat well and enjoy it and receive pleasure from it all throughout the holiday season. So as you can tell, I'm super passionate about this because it's all about uncovering the secret to the formula for you. Every person is different. Every physical body is different. And when you find your secret formula for walking through the holidays with confidence, I call it leaping through the holidays with confidence, because, it's just like Lords of Leaping, they're just joyful Lords of Leaping. And you are joyfully leaping through the holidays because you're not afraid of them anymore. You're not afraid of what's going to happen in January. You're not going to be afraid of not being able to reach your goal in January because you overdid it in December. You're going to be able to relax and have confidence and assuredness that you are well and that you can enjoy this time of year. So let's get started talking about this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time of year. But before we go into that, we really need to touch base with the vitality score, because the vitality score is going to help you in determining if you are on the verge of overindulging. It really can, because when you read your vitality score like a scale, and like the scale that it is, it provides you with information, and this information will let you know if you're about to overindulge. So let's go. All right, we get our vitality score by tallying up our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. So mentally, where are you today? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you rating? Are you mentally foggy, unclear, lazy of the mind? That's going to score you between a 1 and a 5. Or if you feel spot on, clear, focused, that's going to score you between a 6 and a 10. Write down your number. Then we're moving on to emotional health. Emotionally today, where are you? Between 1 and 5 is where you feel a little below the line. You're a little moody, maybe a little edgy, maybe a little sharp. Or you can be from 6 to 10, where you feel emotionally balanced, you feel hopeful, you feel free, you feel happy, joyful. That's going to get you in those upper numbers. Write it down. Then let's go to your physical health. Physically, where are you today between 1 to 10? 1 being you're lethargic, fatigued, you feel yucky. Maybe your digestive system is feeling a little, yeah. After today's show, you're going to have hope because I'm going to show you how to elevate the health and vitality of your gut. Physically, if you feel really good, you have energy, you have a little pep in your step, you're going to score between a 6 and a 10. Next, let's go to your spiritual health. Spiritually, where are you today? Spiritually, do you feel aligned? That's going to give you a 10. Or did you disconnect today? Did you try to go out on your own today? When we go out on our own, it can get a little tricky, and that will score you between a 1 and a 5. All right, tally up your numbers. All 4 of those high scores of 40. Where are you on that scale? And that right there, when you look at any one of those segments, it will help you to see if you are about to overindulge, because in any one of those categories, if you're scoring below a 6, you will have a tendency to overindulge. I'm going to say it again. If you are scoring a 6 or under on any of those, then you could possibly, not possibly, you could and may experience overindulgence in the near future. So we must take care of our temple, our physical form, our mind, our emotional setting, and our spiritual connection. We must. We are a 4-piece being here. It's a 3-part being: spirit, soul, physical. And the soul makes up our mind, our heart, and our emotional center, who you are on your earthly journey. All right, so it's not a time for judgment or any of that. This is just information to help you along your way and along your journey through the holidays. So what can cause this overindulgence? What can cause this tendency to overeat? You know, I started out the show letting you know about those patterns and the patterns that we grow up with, the belief set that we grow up with that, all right, it's the holidays, we're just going to overdo it. But guess what? Come January, we have our New Year's resolutions and we'll lose the weight again. Oh my word. How many times have you ridden that roller coaster? How many times have you ridden the roller coaster of overeating through the holidays, getting it off in January, February, only to gain it back after the spring break time frame? And you're just on this roller coaster ride of diet and emotions, losing weight, gaining weight. It's just ludicrous and it's madness. Why not just get it down? Why not get the secret formula so that you don't do that anymore? You know, one thing that I have found through not only my own journey with food and body, but also that of working with people very closely, is that this overindulgence that we experience during the holidays isn't about the party overindulgence, meaning you go to a party and you eat, and sure, you may have a little much, a little more than normal or whatever, but it's not those overindulgences that tip the scale. It's when those are included with the secret eating, the eating that's done at home when you're alone or with family members that you feel comfortable with your eating habits. That it's when those two are brought together is when we will tip the scale and we will see the increase in January. So what is this about? Most people go, oh, I can't go to these parties because I'm going to overindulge, or they're not going to have food that I can eat on my protocol that I'm on. And really, people in December don't even think about a strict diet. Just follow these points that I'm going to share with you because it will really change your world, I promise. But it's when we are by ourselves, when we're doing all the baking and we're sticking our finger in the batter bowl and licking and trying. It is when we get it baked and we had, you know, probably 2 raw cookies. And then after we baked them, we had a couple more. It is about after dinner, oh, I've done all this baking, let me eat this. Or maybe your mood is a little low that day. Maybe you had a tough time with maybe a personal experience or a business experience. And so that night you decided to just eat mindlessly. And when we eat mindlessly, we tend to take in more than what our body can digest at one time. These overindulgences at home happen all year long. It's not just the holidays. But people think it's the holiday eating that brought on the weight for January, but it wasn't. It was the holiday eating on top of the already secret eating that is done. And I'm calling it secret eating because secret eating is, I used to closet eat. I did. I would go into, I'd hide food in my closet or my bedroom when I was growing up, and I would eat. And then I would go and run 3 to 5 miles and talk about sick. Ugh, that just right now makes me nauseated. But that's secret eating. Well, this kind of eating that I'm talking about is another form of secret eating, but it's done in your home where you're comfortable and you feel safe and nobody's seeing your patterns, nobody's seeing what you're feeling inside. And so we tend to gravitate towards some foods and overeating on those foods. So it's not the holiday eating that's the enemy. It's the eating that we do on a normal basis when we're hiding, when we feel raw, when we feel hurt, when we feel disgusted, when we feel overwhelmed. That's the kind of eating we want to work with. Because the holiday eating, that's filled with yumminess, with joy, with pleasure. Now, if you're going out and eating a dozen Christmas cookies, we do need to have a conversation, and that is overindulgence. But when we're looking at just a blanket overview of really what that picture looks like, this is typically how it is. It's not the holiday eating, it's the eating at home, the secret eating. So let's see if we can work with this so that you feel a lot more comfortable, not only with this eating that you have at home, but also the eating of going to parties and events where there is more food, more delicious pleasures, and maybe there's some alcohol and you want to partake in that. And there is a pattern, there's a rhythm, not a pattern, there's a rhythm that you can follow that when you go out and splurge on these pleasures, that it's not going to, the word harm is coming to my mind, but it's not going to tip the scale for you. I know this is never a fun topic to really hear. Um, food is a very personal thing. Food is it hits close to home when we start talking about our food patterns, our eating behaviors. It hits close to home and it can be really hard to admit. I didn't admit it for a long time. And it was when I found the secret that everything changed for me. And I'm going to share that secret with you. So, one thing that I do want to preface very, very strongly is that these patterns that come up around food are not you. They're not you, whether it's patterns that you have that are throughout the year or the ones that just take place at the holiday season. They're not you. These are patterns, belief systems that were created when you were very young, and they tend to, hop on our back and stay with us until we are ready to get rid of them. And like all patterns, they serve us for a time, probably saved your life at one point. But what we find is that eventually, like all patterns, they all of a sudden are no longer beneficial for us. And that's when we know we need to get rid of them. These feelings that can come up for you are typically around guilt and shame. guilt and shame stem from these type of patterns. And what we want to understand is that if that guilt and shame is connected to that pattern that is not you, then why are you taking on the guilt and shame that are connected to the pattern when the pattern isn't really you? Do you see what I mean? So we really don't have to carry around that suitcase of guilt and shame and regret every single holiday season. We don't have to do that because it doesn't belong to us. That's a suitcase you can leave in the past. And you can move forward with hope that you can change. You can eliminate this pattern of old and bring in a new pattern that is going to fill you with hope and confidence. We're going to be speaking a lot to mindfulness and being consciously aware. But before we get to being mindful and consciously aware with our food, I want you to be conscious of the chemistry that the guilt and the shame and the regret bring up within you. Because when we identify that guilt feeling within our body, the shame feeling in our body, the regret, we can identify it really quick and walk through it, meaning, oh, I can close the suitcase on that because it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to that pattern. So put it in the pattern suitcase, close the lid, and leave it in your past. Visually do that and leave it in your past and go, okay, now I can move forward. And just sit there and breathe for a moment with those, the chemistry that those feelings brought up in your body. Just spend just a moment. Once you have visually, you have your pattern of guilt suitcase, and you have visually put those feelings of guilt in that pattern suitcase, and you've left it in the past. You've moved, you've turned your body away from it. And now I want you just to breathe in this pattern. Are you ready? You're going to inhale through your nose, and you're going to exhale through your mouth like this. Now, when you inhale through your nose, we inhale from the diaphragm first, meaning your stomach is going to distend. It's going to go out. And then you bring the breath up through the lungs. And remember, your lungs are in the back. And so you want to feel your back expand, and it comes up to your chest. And then you exhale through your mouth. All the way out until the air is gone. Then we take a breath in through our nose. Bring it all the way in, and then exhale through the mouth. Let's do one more together. Breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Till the breath is gone. And that will help bring you back to center. And then from that place, you can take a conscious step forward into your next decision around food. And I'm going to walk you through that in a moment, but I wanted us to work with those feelings that get stuck in our system. And if you don't know emotional resolution, which that is one of my tools that I teach in all of my classes, is emotional resolution, you can contact me for information on that. But if you don't know emotional resolution, then the second best thing you could do is this breath technique. And that will help to release the stress from your body. It doesn't keep it from coming back, whereas emotional resolution can keep that chemistry from coming back year after year after year. You can eliminate it for good and it not haunt you again. That's very cool. Whereas deep breathing, you are just stuck with doing it every time that feeling arises. And the more and more you do it, 15 times, 50 times, 100 times, 150 times, it will get less and less and less. So we get a double whammy with these emotions that these patterns trigger. One is the stress chemistry, And that stress chemistry, or not one, but the stress chemistry is created by two things: the overeating that you're doing. So the overindulgence creates that stress chemistry of guilt, shame, all of that, of those emotions. It comes up and we have that stress chemistry, but also overeating by itself creates a stress response. And when we have the stress chemistry that these emotions create or that overeating creates, when we have this in our body, then we tend to overbreathe. When you overbreathe, it shuts down your digestive system. When you overbreathe, your body stores fat. When you overbreathe, your body has die-off of healthy gut bacteria. When you overbreathe, your body, your digestive system has decreased enzymatic output. When you overbreathe, you are under oxidative stress. Free radicals are floating around like little Pac-Man, damaging everything vital in your body. So this is not a very good place to be. If we continue with this pattern of overindulgence or belief system around overindulgence every holiday season, it's not just the weight that you gained in January. You have created an inflammation environment. And this inflammation is creating unrest in your body. It creates chronic digestive upset. It could lead to leaky gut, a host of digestive issues, constipation, heartburn, bloating, burping. Not a fun body to live in when you are experiencing all of that. And then that chronic inflammation can lead to a whole host of other things that we don't even want to think about. So it really is a good idea for all of us as human beings floating through the holidays to recognize these overindulgence patterns. Overindulgence in any category, right? Today we're talking about food, but we can do overindulgence in a lot of different things during the holidays, can't we? And so with this information, you're armed and ready to be able to eliminate and process this stress chemistry out of your body: guilt, shame, regret. Release it, put it in that suitcase and leave it in the past, and move forward, breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. You know, when we feel good in our body, an overconfidence, I'm going to call it an overconfidence. When we feel an overconfidence, that also takes us into that stress chemistry. We want to be calm confidence. That puts you in relaxation chemistry. And that is where you mobilize fat for energy. So look at your confidence level and make sure that you're in calm confidence and not overconfidence. That is just a little side note that just came in for me to share with you, because overconfidence can end up biting you in the booty if you're not careful. And a reminder that this all or nothing mentality that we can have as we are going through the holidays. You know, I'm just going to go hog wild and then I'll pay for it in January. You know, doing that is very detrimental to the health of your body. Very detrimental. So if you are one that is in this all or nothing mentality, this I'm going to go hog wild and then I'll get it all off in January, that's going to be harmful. And I highly recommend that you slow down, you bring yourself into a state of awareness, and you breathe. Breathe. And I'm going to share with you another breathing technique that you can do in order to help you maintain a low stress level during the holiday season. We'll get to that in just a little bit. All right, so here are my pro tips for the holidays with the holiday eating, the holiday overindulgence. Tip number one is you eat mindfully and chew each bite 30 times. Now you think, oh my gosh, 30 times? I'm going to chew for 30 times. It's going to be mincemeat. Well, our stomachs, they shouldn't have to work so hard to digest. They can digest very well when the food is chewed and the saliva and the enzymes from the saliva have gone to work on it in your mouth. And then when it gets to the stomach has an easy time digesting. It's not hard, and you have full digestion assimilation power. But if you put a bite in your mouth and just chew a couple of times and swallow it, your stomach is going to have to work really, really, really hard. So eat mindfully. And what I mean by that is it's staying awake at the plate. Whether you're standing at a party and eating off your plate or sitting down at a table and eating, stay awake to what is on your plate. Do not fall asleep. Be there, be present, be all in with your food. One thing I wanted to share with you is these are your steps. Are you ready? When we are eating mindfully, we are pausing. We are choosing not only the food we're going to eat wisely, but we're choosing wisely which bite to take in next. We are checking in continually with the body to see if we've had enough. We savor each bite and do the 30 chews. As you're savoring the bite, you're activating all of your senses around this meal, around this food. You participate in mindful conversations at the party, around the table. You're mindful of the conversation. When you're mindful of the conversation, you're not eating mindlessly. You're probably chewing the 30 times, being very aware as you are mindfully in that conversation, contributing. You're breathing between bites when we contribute. Your fork isn't in your hand. You're totally relaxed. There is time and space between bites. That right there is probably the most important step that I can tell you to take, is to be very mindful in the pace in which you're eating and to put time and space between each bite so there's several breaths with each bite. When we breathe between our bites, our diaphragm is expanding and it's massaging the stomach and creating more digestive enzymes and helping massage the stomach. And the stomach just loves that feeling and it gets so happy. And here are more enzymes chewing up that food. So mindfulness. And then as always, we put this beautiful blanket of gratitude around all of it. Gratitude at the beginning, gratitude in the middle, gratitude at the end, for the food, for the company, for the holiday, for the gifts, for the blessings, gratitude over all of it. And that gratitude elevates your digestive chemistry. Gratitude brings the whole body to ease, relaxation, and full digestive power. Even more than you could have ever thought possible. So those steps again are to pause, be slow. Choose wisely the food you're about to eat and the next bite that's going in your mouth. Check in often with, how do I feel? Do I feel like I've had enough food, or do I need another bite? On this check-in, I'm gonna bring in one other really good point, and this is called When we do a check-in, we're checking for our point of energy. And point of energy is when we can leave from the table with more energy than when we started. If we eat to full, then we don't have more energy than compared to what we started with. We have less because your body just went into a stress response, and that stress response is not digesting your food. That stress response is storing fat, creating inflammation in the gut. So when we check in, we're checking in to see if have I had enough? Can I stop? When we eat slowly, it gives leptin time to be excreted from the gut lining, which is your gut brain, into the head brain to say stop. If we eat fast, we never hear that because it takes 20 minutes for leptin to be sent from the gut to the head. 20 minutes. So we need to slow down. That check-in step is huge. We savor each bite. That's the next step. The fifth step is activate all of your senses. The sixth step is be in mindful conversations, interact, engage, be present, and then gratitude, covering it all, is the final step. Okay. So that next breath I wanted to teach you. The final breath for today. This breath pattern will help reduce stress. It helps reduce anxiety, but it also helps to bring memory back to the diaphragm on the correct way to breathe so that we don't overbreathe. And this breath is breathing in through the nose for a count of 4. Breath in, and you put your hand on your diaphragm. You can't see my hand on my diaphragm, but you put your hand on the diaphragm and then one on your chest. And when you breathe in through the nose for a count of 4, you want to feel the hand on your diaphragm move first. The hand on the belly, it's going to move first. It's going to expand. And then the hand on the chest will lift. All right, so here we go. For a count of 4, you breathe in through the nose. And then you exhale through the nose for 8 counts. 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold for 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 4. Out for 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do that repeatedly for 3 to 5 minutes. And when you are done, your body will have this rhythm of breathing that is so natural and so at ease that you will feel relaxed. You will feel lighthearted. You will feel positivity flowing through your mind. You will feel good. You will feel so good because you have just given your body the rhythm of breathing where it thrives. So try that rhythm of breathing and see if it helps you. Do that rhythm of breathing before you go off to holiday parties or holiday events. Do that breathing. Get yourself back to center. 3 to 5 minutes. Take the time. Take the time. Take care of yourself. Nobody else is going to do it. Take care of yourself. Bring yourself to center before you're going off to holiday parties, before you go grocery shopping for your holiday foods, before you do anything inside this holiday season. Deep diaphragmatic breathing, 4-8-8. Try that breathing technique and see if it doesn't help you transform your holiday tension into holiday goodness, hope, fun, joy, all the good stuff. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me today for Ashley's Heart Song. I look forward to seeing you next week as we continue to armor up our lives. I will see you then.